Hi little craft makers! Today I'm making rocket ships, and can you guess what this is made out of? A toilet paper roll. So stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to make it all by yourself. Are you ready? Let's get started! To make these rocket ships, you're going to need some empty toilet paper rolls, some paint, definitely some glue, tissue paper, kind of like you use to wrap presents with, and then also some construction paper. So first what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our toilet paper roll, make sure all the toilet paper is off of it. It's okay if there's little bits, we're just gonna paint right over that. And we're gonna start with our paint today. So I'm just gonna take a paintbrush, I'm gonna put a little water on it. The reason I do that is it makes it to where you don't have to use as much paint. So I put a little water on it and then I just dab it on a paper towel and then I'm ready to paint. I think today I'm gonna do an orange rocket ship. So I'm gonna grab some orange paint on my paintbrush. Let me move this so you can see it. And I'm going to paint the whole thing. So make sure you get all over it. It might take a couple coats of paint, so you'll paint the whole thing and make sure it's dry and then paint over it again. It's okay if your fingers get a little bit messy. The paint will wash off your hands. So we're just gonna paint the whole thing and then we'll add to it. Now that this is all painted, we're gonna set it to the side and let it dry, and then we're gonna work on the pieces that we're gonna glue to the top and sides of our rocket ship. So let's start with a little cone that we're gonna put on top. That will be like the nose of the rocket ship. We're gonna cut out a circle. So circles can be hard. It's hard to draw it yourself and get a really good circle. And usually what I like to do is I like to use something around my house. You can use cups, bowls, anything you can find that's a circle. You could even use a plate. We want not too big of a circle, but not too small either, kind of right there in the middle. So what I did was I found this cleaning wipe container and it looks like it's gonna be the perfect size. So see if you have something about this size at home. It's okay if it's not exactly the same size as mine, it will still work. So take whatever you found that's a circle and put it right on top of your construction paper. And then take a pencil, pen, marker, crayon, anything that you can draw with, and just trace around the outside of it. So we're just gonna trace it there. Okay, and then we're done with that, so we'll put that to the side. So now we have a circle, and we're just gonna cut that circle out. So grab your scissors, and be very careful with your scissors. Scissors are sharp, so ask a grown-up if you're allowed to use them. If you are, go ahead and cut that circle out. So I'm just gonna cut it out like this first, and then I'll cut around my outline. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You're not gonna really notice it once you glue it to the top of your rocket ship. So just get as close to the line as you can. Perfect. So there's our circle. Now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna cut this circle right in half. So go ahead and just cut it right in half. Boop. There we go. We don't actually need the second half, so you can just set that piece to the side. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this into a cone. So it will be the nose of the rocket ship. What you're gonna do is you're going to take this semicircle that we just cut out and you're going to overlap these flat ends. So it's a little bit weird to do it first, but you're gonna curl them around each other. Do you see that? I'll do it one more time. See it flat there? You're just going to overlap it just like that, okay? And you can see that it might get a little bit bent or funny. You can always kind of fluff it up a little bit to make it more of a cone. So overlap them, not too much because you don't want it to be too small. And then we're gonna use our glue to glue that part that's overlapping together. So we'll take the lid off our glue. You can use craft glue or school glue. You can use hot glue as well, as long as there's a grown-up to help you. I like the craft glue for this because it's really sticky. It's a little stickier than school glue, and so it will stick together before it's completely dry, which is kind of nice to use. So you can see we have right there where it's overlapping, we're just gonna put some glue right in there, okay? And I'll show you what that looks like. So I put quite a bit of glue because I really want it to stick. Normally I wouldn't use so much glue, but this time I really want it to stick, and just kind of mess with it so that the cone sticks together, okay? Just like that. See, now we have our cone. So that is ready to go on top of our rocket ship once it's dry. So we'll just set that to the side and let that piece dry too. And now we're gonna work on the fins that will go on the sides of our rocket ship. We're going to cut out 2 triangles. Super simple, just some triangles right here. I'm gonna grab my construction paper. What I'll do is I'm gonna cut out 2 squares. Okay, so we've got 2 squares, and the best way to make a triangle is to cut a square in half, just like that. We'll cut that triangle out, and look, now we have 2 triangles. What we'll do is we're just going to take the triangle. Let me move some of these so you can see it. And you're just gonna fold down a little bit of one of the sides to make a little piece that will stick to the rocket ship. Otherwise, you'd have to glue it like that, and it's not gonna stay. So we'll do a little tab, and we'll just fold that over just like that. Do you see that little tab I made there? When we glue it to our rocket ship, we're gonna put the glue right there and glue it on like that. That's why we made that little tab. We'll put that one to the side, and we'll just do one more. And I try to make sure I do it on the same side so they end up basically the same size. I'm gonna do it right on this side. You can see again, I'm just gonna fold that tab over. There we go. So that's what they look like. I'm actually gonna flip this one so that they stick out the same way. There we go. Make sure the tabs are going the same way, and when we glue it to the rocket ship, they'll stick out the same way now too. All right, my rocket ship is basically dry, and we're ready to glue on these pieces. So I'm gonna start with these little fins that we have, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue. Don't use too much glue this time, otherwise it can get kind of squirmy, and glue it right there onto the side. Do you see that? So I'm lining it up with the bottom piece, and we're gluing it onto the side. Now we'll do that with the other piece. So a little bit of glue right there, not too much, just a small line of glue, and do it exactly on the other side. Okay, right there, and we'll line it up with the bottom. There you go. Okay, now we just need to add the top cone. So we'll grab our cone that we just made and make sure it's sticking together really good. And we're gonna put some glue right around the top of our rocket ship. Okay, so right around the top here, we're just gonna put it right there. It's okay if it starts to kind of squish in or out. We really just need a little bit to make it stick. And then we take our cone and we stick it right on top. There we go. So we just stick it right on top like that, and we have a little rocket ship. While these pieces dry, we're gonna make the flames that are gonna be coming out of the bottom when it blasts off. Okay, we're gonna grab tissue paper. And the reason we're using tissue paper is because it's a lot more flowy than construction paper or school paper, anything like that. You can use different types of paper and you'll just do exactly the same thing we're doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use yellow, red, and orange. And the reason I'm choosing those colors is because it's gonna look like fire. So I'm just stacking them nicely on top of each other, and then I'm just gonna cut out some small strips. They don't need to be perfect, they don't need to be perfectly straight. They're just gonna look like flowy fire coming out of the bottom of the rocket ship. So let's stack these together and just make some strips, okay? And you can cut all the way to the end. And we'll just do a few of those. And when you glue them on and they're flowing around, you won't notice if those lines are straight or not. So it's okay if you get kind of wiggly lines. I got a little bit of a wiggly line in there. That's okay. You're never gonna notice it. Okay, there we go. So we've got that, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna hang out the bottom, kind of like that. And so when you're playing with it, it's gonna look like it's got fire coming out of the bottom, just like when a rocket ship blasts off. So we'll glue that there. I think these pieces are a little bit long for the size of our rocket ship. So I'm just gonna stack them again. We're gonna stack them and cut them. Make sure you don't cut it too short because you are gonna be using part of it to glue to the inside. Okay, so let's see. Let's kind of see if we feel like, I feel like that's probably gonna be a good length. It'll be a fun length to glue to it. So let's add some glue to the inside. You can do either all the glue at once. It's not gonna dry that fast, so you don't need to work too fast. You can do all the glue at once, or you can do a little at a time. I'm just gonna go ahead and do all the glue at once. So what we'll do is we'll just add the glue right to the inside there. So do that all the way around. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so can you see there I added the glue all the way around the inside. And then all you'll do is take your pieces of tissue paper and stick them to the glue. You can do a pattern, you can do all one color. You don't have to do red, orange, and yellow. You can do whatever color you like. I'm gonna do a pattern of red, orange, and yellow, and I'm gonna overlap them just a little bit. Okay, see how I'm overlapping that there? So we'll get a red in there. And now we need an orange. Okay. And a yellow. Almost there. Let's see if I have any reds left. I do. Okay, red. Oh, looks like I need a little bit more glue in there, so I'm just gonna put a little more glue. Overlap it, stick. And last piece is our yellow. Ready to see it? Ah, there it is. It looks like fire coming out. So my little piece up here is starting to come off a little bit because I didn't let it dry all the way. So try to let the pieces dry as much as you can before you play with them, okay? Now what you can do is you can leave it like this, or we can add maybe some stripes to our rocket. You can add some letters if you want to do maybe your initials, or you can write your name. I think I'm gonna do our little craft maker's initials. And I think I will do those in blue, just to add a little accent color. So we're gonna do little craft makers. Something fun you could also do with your rocket ship is you could add, I love to add googly eyes to everything so that things look like they're alive. You could always add some googly eyes to your rocket ship, and that would be pretty fun to do, to play with friends like they're all alive and flying together. There we go. There's our rocket ship. I could definitely add more details to it. I think I'll sit here and paint a little bit more on it, but that's all you have to do to have your very own rocket ship. I hope that you had fun doing this. I had so much fun doing this with you today, and I think it's just a really fun craft to do with friends and to share with others. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing a lot more crafts. Bye. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. I'll be posting new crafts every Wednesday and Saturday, so don't forget to subscribe.